Hey everybody, I'm Bob Kosh, and thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Counterintelligence. And as you heard on Sunday Supper with Vito, this week's dish is Muffaletta. This is a wonderful dish to serve, whether it's an appetizer or if you're going to actually enhance a sandwich, throw it on top of, just about anything. And there's still a little controversy as to who came up with this. Was it the Sicilians? Was it the Spanish? It's like asking someone from the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico who invented mofongo. It could spark off World War III. But this is a simple dish, and we have a treat. After this episode, we have Supply Chain Roy on to tell us how to keep your business profitable, and we're going to talk about everything related to supply chain. Now let's get started. Now you heard me say simple, and it doesn't get any simpler than this. You need 1 cup of green olives with pimentos. You need 1 cup of Kalamata olives, half a cup of roasted peppers, 2 big bulbs of garlic, and about 3 teaspoons of chopped parsley. It also calls for just 2 teaspoons of white vinegar. And this gets to be a little bit of a pain in the rear end, to put it in technical terms, but if you're chopping the olives, best thing to do, slice them in half first, and please either use a serrated knife or a sharp knife. And it all comes down to how you want this to appear. Is it going to be like a fine relish? Is it going to be a little chunky? It really depends on how you want to present it. It's not going to change the taste. But the big thing here is you have got to keep it overnight. Once you make it, don't put it in the fridge. Let it sit in all of that olive oil. I didn't mention the olive oil. And it just macerates it. It gets real happy overnight. Kind of like some other situations, but I'll leave that alone. You can put this on crackers. You can put this on celery sticks. You can put it on anything. You know the expression, you can make an old shoe taste good? This would go somewhere down around the heel. This will just make you very, very happy. A ham, prosciutto, Genoa salami, and provolone cheese sandwich. Now, we're gonna take you to the interview I had with Supply Chain Roy. We are back again with Supply Chain Roy to talk about issues related to what we went through over this past year and change with the pandemic. But supply chain issues are just important on a daily basis. Roy is with Strauss Consulting, and it is always a pleasure to have you on, Roy. How you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I've really been looking forward to our second interview together.
Now that things really appear, and I'm saying that tongue in cheek, to be getting back to a somewhat normal pace, what would you recommend companies do to ready for the possibility of any supply chain issues they encounter?
First of all, what's very important is we're going to talk relative to the results of the pandemic and how it's affected supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really important is what we're talking about should be for every company all the time. The only difference is, under normal circumstances, if you're back ordering 10% of your product, you're going to have a bad year.
Right.
If you're back ordering 90%, your company is going to have no life.
Oh,
it's just a matter of degree right now. Okay. Yeah. So what's really important for a company? Okay. Again, supply chain, getting the product from the source to the end user.
Mm-hmm.
So key for any company is having the right data and access to it.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't see that I'm about to run out of a product, if I can't see that an average selling product is about to get hot,
mm-hmm.
I'm suggesting to my readers, if you sell coffee, look at the weather reports in Colombia for the next 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a company that you buy from, they're a manufacturer, make sure it's not a company that only manufactures it twice a year. And therefore you bought thinking continuous supply and they could run out in the first 6 months. So it's really important to know your sources and anything and everything you can to know about them.
I just want to jump in here for a second because what you're saying has so much validity. I'm going to go back to the Christmas holiday of last year. We celebrate and usually have lemon ricotta cheese. And this year, it was almost non-existent, except for one particular place I found I had to go to Roseland, New Jersey to find it. So what would your advice be so companies don't take on too much inventory, causing unnecessary expense in the short term?
Let's talk about inventory always, but even more important now, okay? We're all familiar, or I hope we are, of the concept of A, B, and C movers. A are my best sellers, B my medium, and C are the slower sellers, okay? Every company I deal with, we talk about treating the A movers as a separate business. Okay, your A movers are 20 to 25% of your items that account for 75 to 80% of your revenue. By investing in 20 to 25% of your products, you're covering 75 to 80% of your sales.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So my clients go to a show in Vegas and they come back with all the stuff that they never intended to have in the building because it was on sale at the Las Vegas show. And they buy C movers that sit in the building forever.
Yeah.
No, you go to the show and you only buy A movers.
Right.
And instead of selling them all out in 3 months, you'll sell them all out in 6 months. And in fact, if there's a run on the A movers, you may be the only one to have them available.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always about taking care of your best customers.
Right.
And it's always about having the product that everybody wants.
Where does supply chain rank in the list of overall importance in maximizing company profit?
It's the most important. You could have the greatest marketing team. You could have the best sales force. And if the product is not on the shelf, you're going out of business. Okay. I made a sales call to a major company. Everybody owns their stock. And one of the divisions in the sales call, they didn't know how much product they had or which building it was in. And we gave them a proposal and they were part of the marketing vertical. This is 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And marketing said, that's not important. We don't have to take care of it. Had I had this conversation now and mentioned them, the stock would have plummeted. Okay. Okay. But this is what's really important. Okay.
Yeah.
Really, really important. So one of my clients, their season is Christmas. 90% of the volume over the year is Christmas. And again, think of pandemic, what could go wrong? Let's go back to 2001, where they had a dock strike in Los Angeles. And the dock strike was in his Christmas season. We had 50% of the stuff in the building, and the other 50% sat on the ocean all through Christmas. If we had 10%, he was out of business.
Yeah.
50%, he hung on by a thread.
Yeah.
If we had 90%, the dock strike wouldn't have affected him.
Right.
So again, if you're stocking up on your A movers, the dock strike is not going to get you. Okay. So again, I'm saying to everybody, your inventory model, we stock 3 months, we'd stock 2 months. For your A movers, safety stock, safety stock, safety stock. You may be the only one that has it.
Right.
Okay. Just think about it. Okay. You don't have it. It's business loss to the competition.
Sure.
You do have it. People are coming to you and not them.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if you can do it the best at the lowest cost, you're going to beat the competition every time, and your cash flow is going to increase exponentially. And that's what it's all about.
Every time I have you on, I learn a little something more. And I mean that sincerely. And this is why I want to get this out to other companies as we grow, as we recover. The world is such a crazy place. Tell everybody how they can reach you and how they can engage Supply Chain Roy in their profitability.
I'm Supply Chain Roy, Roy Strauss. I run the Strauss Consulting Group. Just so you know, we started in January 1983. This is my 40th year. So what we do works. It works for our clients. I called back numerous times. If you'd like to check out my website, www.scg4u.com. And if you're on the website, click on the blogs. You'll see things like buying from a poor power position. Boy, you do that, then that's going to increase your product availability when the bigger boys can get it before you, and not so much anymore. And my phone number is 201-400-1501. And if you'd like to email me, please do info @scg4u.com. That's S as in Strauss, C as in consulting, G as in group, and the number 4 and the letter U. So it's rs@scg4u.com or www.scg4u.com. And Bob, it's such a pleasure every time I'm on with you. You know, it's a good thing we do, because people that need help can really learn what to do.
Now, back at you, Roy, because what you do helps. And I need people to know that, because just the things that you raised today were things I didn't know and can benefit local companies. Roy, have a great day.
Hey, Bob, you too. And again, thanks again. Looking forward to next time. Be safe.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Counterintelligence. Join us next week for Sunday Supper with Vito. As you see, somebody's missing. Will they find Don Chooch? You gotta find out next week at 6 o'clock on Sunday nights.